Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of AI and Tech Tuesdays. I'm your host, Crystal Gonzalez, here with Yamille, and today we're going to be talking about Yamille's tech stack. Last week, if you remember, we shared a little information about what tech stack I was using and the tools that are working behind the scenes every day with our team to help us in productivity, AI tools, things like that. So Yamille is going to be sharing today the tools she's using. So go ahead, Yamille.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode. Okay. So let's talk about the things I use every day. Well, just like you, I use HighLevel and my version of it. And I use it for myself, but I also use it for clients. And as you know, I'm the automation builder. So that is primarily what I do inside of there, making sure that clients' customer journeys are documented throughout, and any follow-up that needs to happen happens automatically so that they don't have to think about it. But that being said, I use other tools to create the content that goes into these automations. Just like Crystal does, I use ChatGPT. Again, it really depends on what I need it for, because I also have access to a lot of custom instruction GPTs and that do specific jobs and specific tasks. So it really kind of depends. So I have email builders, like creates email campaigns based on, whatever it is that needs to happen. And I also use Claude. Claude is my favorite for writing, really killer writing. And I use projects in there most of all. I think I use projects there more than I do in ChatGPT, because I create the custom instructions and upload all the documents that it needs to reference on a particular project. So for example, my clients all have a project. So based on whatever it is that I'm doing for them, I upload any documents that they've given me, the website contents, any emails, anything. Basically, it's creating that brain, right? It creates that brain so that the AI can reference that particular client's information and give me answers based on that. It also knows the owner, knows, all the stakeholders involved, and it creates beautiful documents, presentations, Word documents. It also creates PDFs. It creates spreadsheets as well. And they're formatted and really nice looking. So you don't have to. I mean, seriously, it's like you don't have to sit there and format a document for somebody. All the power is right there. I use it a lot also for proposal creation, because up to recently, creating a proposal for a particular client took a while. You have to figure out what you talked about in the meeting, what they said, what they need, what they have, what they don't have. All those things all need to come together to create a real-time assessment of what it is that you're proposing. And not just that, but also helps create pricing as well based on your particular services that you provide. Let's see what else. Also helps create financial documents. So projections based on whatever it is that you're doing. Claude can help you do that and make it pretty for the client as well. So it is one of my very favorite tools right now. Like I said before on the previous episode, I'm just venturing into the design piece of it. And I'm just starting to use Cowork as well. There's a really cool extension, Chrome extension, that sends Claude into your browser and does all kinds of cool things. It is pretty great, and it's only going to get better. So those tools together help me create the contents of what I build for clients. In HighLevel, I also can do documents, signature workflows, things like that. If you have quotes, all those things can be tracked and then follow up created behind it. So if it's outside, you can do certain things to prompt the person to do something, or notify teams to do that as well, to follow up and not forget things. I use Notebook.lab, though I have to admit I'm not using it as much anymore. It's still useful. I mean, I think it really depends on what it is you're trying to do and when it becomes really critical. I don't use Gamma that much, but I have used it before and I really enjoy how it works. It's super quick and it can create a presentation out of almost nothing, And I know, Crystal, you've done like really cool stuff with Gamma, and it's really pretty fantastic. And let's see what else. I have ventured into Ideogram to create graphics. Canva, I use Canva a lot, and there is a way to automate from Canva to create social posts using HighLevel as well. So all these things, they just really go together to create. I mean, you can have a single person business easy these days because you have all access to all these tools that can work together and basically create, just like you were talking about Marbleism, create those assistants that will help you do things so that you don't have to, or at least not do the busy work. You could do the creative work,
Yeah.
right?
You can at least start out that way. I'll say though, AI has definitely like we're awful with work, and I can't the tasks I give my assistants, I need human eyes on, we're not there yet for
Absolutely.
sure, but I do see that it gives us the output is so fast and so quick that now we have so much more. So then we got to go through it, review it because it makes mistakes, and then we got to edit and
Mm-hmm.
refine and
Mm-hmm.
change.
Exactly. Exactly.
But what I was going to say is you also use, I know one thing you use that you didn't list, Lovable.
Oh, don't get me started on Lovable. Oh my God. Yes. How did I forget about Lovable? Yes.
Exactly.
Lovable is freaking fabulous. You can create beautiful websites. You can also create tools, engagement tools for websites, or even just freestanding apps that do specific things. A lot of business owners use, I think we've talked about this before in a previous episode, where they'll use a software that does a lot of things, but maybe they only need to do a couple of things. Those are the kinds of softwares that we can create with Lovable and other no code. They call it vibe coding. So
Mm-hmm.
basically you're talking to it in natural language of what you want to accomplish. And then it does the technical coding behind the scenes so that you don't have to. All I know is that I wanted a tool to do X and I tell it that and I want it to look this way. And it just builds it for me so that I don't have to. I've created websites with it. I even created a teleprompter app. Remember that, Crystal? That
Yeah,
was really
I was
fun.
going to say that. Yeah, like the app we use, which is we record in Riverside, didn't have the option for you to have the teleprompter unless I upgraded the subscription. I'm like, that's dumb. So Yamil went in and
Oh,
just
that's
vibe
silly.
coded
Yeah.
her own teleprompter. And I'm
I
like,
vibe
oh,
coded
that's
it.
really cool. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I have a client who has a flooring business and her previous website had kind of little interactive tools. They weren't that cute. They weren't that pretty. They weren't really that interactive. They just look like you embed like a little Excel sheet, a couple of cells, and it just looked not very pretty. So I created something that was pretty and it's inside her website so that it also generates leads. People can kind of self-help themselves. If you want to know how much flooring you need for an X, whatever size room, it'll tell you. And it'll give you all kinds of things like that. I have also created in Lovable. How could I have forgotten about Lovable? My God, it's like I can't stop talking about it. It's so cool.
I know. I don't know how you forgot about it either.
How could I forget? No, it's really nice. It creates really beautiful things. I believe it uses Claude code underneath. I believe it does. So it has a strong engine underneath it. You create really practically anything. And I think it's especially useful for a small business that really just doesn't have the funds to buy enterprise software that costs
Yeah.
a lot per seat. It's not just, oh, it's this, it's per person that uses it. That starts to get expensive after a while. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, because it has all these back end connections, you can basically bolt it on to just about anything, so that you can not just have a freestanding thing that you have to log into separately. You can bring it into HighLevel and have it, actually, that's what I've done lately. Their forms in Lovable are prettier. So I build them there and then I just do what we call a webhook, which is basically just sending the information from one system to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And then that comes into HighLevel. So you can automate anything else after that. Let me see what else. Am I forgetting something, Crystal, that I've talked to you about before that
Well,
I haven't talked
I
about
didn't
now?
mention that I use Replit, but it's just
Yeah.
Replit and Lovable. They're for creating.
Yeah, they're identical. They do a lot of the same things.
And then one of the things also, I'm not sure. Are you using an AI note taker? I know I use
Oh,
Fireflies.
yes,
I have
I
Zoom
do.
AI, but then I also have
Yes.
my Plod. What are you using for AI note takers?
Yeah, I use Fireflies, but I also use Gemini Notes because my meetings are typically in Google Meet. I just
Okay.
prefer it. It's just all included in my workspace account. So what I
Does it
do
give
is I
you
attach. Go
does it
ahead.
give you video as well in that? Because like
Yes.
with Firefly,
Yeah.
we get the video, we get the transcript. We can generate summaries. Okay,
Yeah.
it does with that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It does. It does. And so Thank you for reminding me because I had that in my mind before we started recording. But again, for putting together proposals, quotes, really for anything that you do that has a meeting in front of it and it's a digital meeting, it's a virtual meeting, recording, and then you can upload the transcript into your tool of choice, be it Claude, be it Gemini, be
Mm.
it ChatGPT, and put it into your project and say, hey, look, this is my meeting. This is what we need to do. I just did that recently. I had a meeting that we're updating somebody's website and creating new automations and that sort of thing. And I said, here's the meeting. Help me put together a task list. Who
Hmm.
needs to do what? The project is this amount of time by how, create that timeline so that we'll make sure that the project is on time. Really all based on just a transcript of what people said. And it assigned everything and everything is in writing and there's no confusion. It's amazing. Another thing I have not mentioned yet is also Gemini. You use Gemini as well.
I do too. Yes.
Gemini is great for, again, I think Gemini is good for a lot of things. I use Claude the most, but Gemini is great for gathering data, doing deep research because it has access to Google data. So it's really great for that. It's also pretty good at doing images, but I understand that the new ChatGPT is pretty great too.
Yeah, I
So,
hear
I
it
mean, you have
is.
to just try them. You try them both to see what you like better. One tool that I've been wanting to use, but I have not used yet is Higgsfield. Have you used that yet, Crystal?
We have. We actually have a subscription in Higgsfield. And it's funny. I went, was it last week, and had some videos recorded for our website. So,
Hmm.
in studio and everything. And during my production, when we're doing the pre-planning production, I'm talking with the company that's doing our video for us. And we were talking about AI in video, and we were talking about Higgsfield. And it's I would say it's a cool tool, but we're just not there yet. We still need more work on these video creators. And then another thing is I think I have a podcast producer as a client, and she has shared with me as well, like the videos that are actually authentic and not created with AI are going to get a lot more reach
Hmm. Hmm.
because AI videos just they're not getting the same reach as the ones
Right.
that are really organic, the ones that are actually videotaped in studio. And so
Hmm.
even though we have these tools and we have Higgsfield and my assistants have used that as well, it wasn't enough to be able to create my
Yeah.
videos
Yeah.
on my website. We really wanted it more organic, but they're coming along.
Yeah. What I've seen it used really well for is for slide graphics for presentations.
Mhm.
Because there's so many styles. So like hand drawn, cartoony, so that you can create something really interesting to catch people's eyes. Because
Yeah.
I mean, let's just face it. Gamma even, it's pretty, but it's a little boring. So, and it's
Yeah,
not
for
going to
sure.
give you like really intricate, especially explanations of things, like when you're creating infographics. And again, we've talked about this before. Notebook LM does really nice infographics, but Higgsfield does even better from what I've seen. I have not personally done any, but I have seen the output of somebody who has, and they're pretty great. And they can stay consistent if they have a style that they use regularly, and you can
Yeah.
have it do the same style again, different topic, different subject matter, and it'll stay consistent with that look that you gave it before, which is kind of nice. So
Yeah, I'll
let me
say
see what
one
else.
thing. One thing that I'll tell you is that I've noticed across all the software and everything we're using is every time I turn around, they've updated it more and there's more to fill out. Like before we just had like the brand kit, and now you can put your tone and your voice and
Uh
everything
huh.
inside Canva and all these different places. I think in the
Yes.
CRM now and Go High
Yeah,
Level,
you
there's
can.
more in
Mhm.
there. It's just like it's growing so fast. It's hard to keep up with all these changes, even as a huge team that we are. Like we still are like, we don't have time for that. We're working on this. And so we have to get to
Yeah.
it. But
Did you see have you seen the most recent announcement from HighLevel? The
no,
super
but
agents?
no, but I think we should share that in our next episode.
Ha. Well, I don't know enough about it yet, but we can talk about it.
I know that there's some massive updates coming with High Level. I'm excited
Hmm.
about that. So
Yeah,
that's a few months away here.
absolutely. pretty fantastic. But I can't think of anything else that I use daily, that I haven't talked about already. Or Workspace is another thing that I use
Yeah.
regularly. And they've added Gemini inside so that, inside documents, you can summarize things, you can change things out, you can change images out,
Hmm.
you can reword, so there's a lot of stuff that's built in. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty much what I use currently that I use every day that I think would be really helpful to people.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing everything about your tech stack. And our next episode, we're going to be talking about AI news, kind of what's trending, what's going on with AI and tech, right? Isn't that what our next episode is about?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So, looking forward to that next week. And yeah, so everyone, if you liked what you saw today and what you heard, please make sure and subscribe, like our channel, and share it with your friends and your followers. That way we can grow our following as well. And we have a lot of cool things coming up that me and Yamil have been planning for a while, which we will be sharing in future episodes. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for joining us. See you next week.